Start where you are. Do what you have. You don't have to change who you are.
And you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
Welcome to Kings TV, where the source of the Watergate scandal is the same as the source of all great news, a fierce determination to find the truth.
Indeed, we've got much aligned for you, our viewers.
But first, the top stories.
Induced abortion and unintended pregnancy rates per region.
Gachagua holds the opposition leaders at Omimoro residence.
Burden of advisors. Ruto's bloated team of 20 advisors drain 1 billion shillings from taxpayers.
Who wants Charles Odongo dead? 4 suspects arrested in the connection of Kasipul MP Bwere's murder.
Alright, once again, welcome to our broadcast. My name is Mbogo Felix.
And I, Beatrice Award.
Kenya recorded 792,694 induced abortions in 2023, more than 80% among married women. The latest report released by the Africa Population and Health Research Center APHRC showed that nearly a half of the women who are presented in health facilities for post-abortion complication were women aged between 25 to 34 years.
According to the data from the report, more than 3/4 were married or living with a partner, and about a third had a secondary education. Take a look. A recent statistic that has been reported by the Ministry of Health has generated a great assumption, stating that 80% of abortion done in Kenya between April 2023 and May 2024 are married women living together with their partners. The statistics released in collaboration with the African Population and Health Research Center indicates that 792,000 cases reported represent 57.3 abortions per 1,000 women between 15 to 49 years. 65% had previously given birth, with 32% have at least 2 or 3 children, the rate being highest in Nairobi and Central Region, followed by Nyanza and Western, then Eastern Region. The Coast and Northeastern Region had the lowest rate of 38.7% per 1,000 women of productive age. The numbers, according to the study, were mainly caused by the increase in the rate of unintended pregnancies of 103.8% per 1,000 women. From these findings, widowed or divorced women who abort were 22%, while those never in relationship were 19%. Those with no children were 597, but the increase doesn't seem to be surprising given that abortion drugs and medication are easily accessed over the past 15 years. Most of these women reported to use one method, others referring medication abortion. Traditional methods are the next most used, followed by manual vacuum aspiration, while harmful methods were rare, where they insert something sharp into the vaginal or drink caustic substances.
Is unintended pregnancy, and unintended pregnancy is one of the driving causes of unintended pregnancy is sometimes they're not using modern and effective contraceptives. So we see that as our greatest entry point in terms of ensuring that there's great awareness at the community level and at all levels, basically, to ensure that women are able to access modern and effective family planning methods to prevent the occurrence of unintended pregnancy.
The stigma around abortion will not disappear overnight, but if we truly value women's lives, we must go beyond the silence and provide men together with the practical solutions, since the status is failing Kenyan women. Therefore, this is the time for more compassionate approach. Beatrice Award, Kings TV.
Questions have arisen over the increasing number of President William Ruto's advisors at State House, with the number doubling despite the head of state promising to reduce it by half.
The huge number in unpleasant contrast to the third advisor that President Mwai Kibaki appointed during his last tenure, including Raphael Tuju and Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who was appointed as the advisor on youth and constitutional matters. Felix Mbogo has more.
Since taking office after the 2022 general election, President William Ruto has appointed several advisors to help him govern the country. The number has risen from 7 advisors to 20 advisors in just over 10 months, with more signings during the broad-based exchange program. The appointment also comes 8 months after the head of state promised to reduce his ever-growing list of advisors, where during the last year's youth-led protest, the president ordered that the number of advisors in the government offices should be reduced by 50% within the civil service with immediate effects.
For confidential budgets in various executive offices, including my own office, have been removed, and the budget for renovations across government reduced by 50%.
Now, questions have risen over the increasing number of President William Ruto's advisors, the recent one being of Professor Makau Mutua, who was signed as the president advisor on constitutional matters. Also, Jaoko Oburu, the son of Siaya Senator Oburu Odinga, was named as the president's special advisor on economic empowerment and sustainable livelihoods. Other advisors include Moses Kuria, who is a senior advisor in the Council of Economic Advisors, David Dundee, the chairperson of the President Council of Economic Advisors, Professor Edward Kisiangani, who is a senior advisor to the President Council of Economic Advisors, Monica Juma, the National Security Advisor, Dr. Sylvester Okumu Kasuku, who serves as the governance advisor, Harriet Chigai, who is the advisor on women rights, Major Ali Mahat Somen, the advisor on security affairs, Professor Abdi Gurie, advisor on livestock and rangeland management, Stephen Otieno, the advisor on cooperatives, Dr. Dominic Menjo, who is the food security and animal production advisor, and Dr. Nancy Raiboni, who is currently serving as an associate member of the President Council of Economic Advisors. The list of advisors now has raised concern about the president's commitment to reduce wastage and duplication of roles, with the cost of the advisors running into over R1 billion annually.
Required to immediately proceed on retirement with no extensions to their tenure of service whatsoever.
Now, the question in many Kenyans' mouth remains, what is the work of all these advisors? It's all about corruption. Kings TV, Felix Mbogo, Nairobi.
Muhoho Kenyatta has asked Africans youth to pursue leadership and embrace technology for change. He criticized outdated systems that have hindered youth despite their growing population and potential.
The call came during a high-level conference in Mombasa, echoing recent remarks by his brother, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying that Africa stands at a turning point. Our own Pius Karaoke with the details.
It's your turn. It is your time to take over leadership mantle. These are not my words, but the words of a younger brother to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, Muhoho Kenyatta.
Africa's youth population is projected to reach nearly 830 million by the year 2050.
In his address during the opening of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award Africa Regional Conference in Mombasa County on Monday 5th, Muhoho has followed in the steps of his elder brother, who has in recent days called on the youth to stand up and be counted in the fight for the liberation of their country.
Determined by how well we prepare our youth for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow.
He has called on the youth to stand up and challenge the status in the country by taking over leadership positions, adding that the youth have for too long played second fiddle. The businessman also slammed the current system of the governance, which he says has for years been a stumbling block to the youth.
The award has proven to be a powerful vehicle for this preparation, instilling in young people, as we have seen, the values of perseverance, responsibility, and service, values that are deeply rooted in our African traditions.
Present during the event were Youth and Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria, Mombasa Governor Abdul Somad Nasir, and Sports peers Fikirini Jacobs. Now, Salim Vuria, the Youth Affairs Cabinet Secretary, have cautioned the youth against abusing social media while they agitate for the change.
Youth can have an environment where they can realize their dreams and their potential. But the most important is use technology positively. Do not use technology to ruin your life.
This comes again after the former President Uhuru Kenyatta says that he prefers to keep quiet because each time he speaks, he seems to get into trouble. His sentiments come after recent remarks by some state officials calling him out over what they termed as exploiting the youth. It followed a speech he made at the second annual Guild Leaders Summit held at Makerere University, where he challenged youth leaders to view themselves as the final guardians of Africa's future.
You, our young people, will have to play your part in reshaping the destinies of our countries of birth, and you will help us realize this is the moment for each and every one of you to step onto the stage.
Will the words of Kenyatta's make the youth go back to the street and fight for the leadership? Or is this one of the ways they are making youth go against the administration? News, Kariuki, TV.
The Teacher Service Commission (TSC) has formally advertised the position of Chief Executive Officer. The advert for the CEO, who is also the secretary to the commission, points to the impending end of Dr. Nancy Masharia's decade-long tenure at the helm of the commission.
Macharia, who has served as a CEO since 2015, became the first woman to lead the commission since it was established. Her successor is expected to take office later this year. Mary Kimani has more.
The Teacher Service Commission (TSC) has officially initiated the process of appointing a new secretary and chief executive officer (CEO), a move that comes before the retirement of the current office holder, Nancy Macharia, whose 10-year term is coming to an end on June 30. Dr. Nancy Macharia, who has served as CEO since 2015, became the first woman to lead the commission since its formation. In a public notice published this week in MyGov, TSC invited qualified Kenyans to apply for the position.
All teachers who qualify for the positions that we shall be advertising to please apply. In the past, we have had some grades not getting enough people. Please urge your teachers, even when you open school or even now, because we will be advertising soon before schools open, that you all participate in applying for this.
To qualify, applicants must be a Kenyan citizen holding a degree in education from a recognized university and have at least 10 years experience in education, administration and management, public administration, human resource or financial management. Additionally, candidates must meet the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on integrity and leadership.
Additionally, I wish to assure the public that following a recent advertisement, the Commission will complete the exercise of recruiting 2,000 teacher interns who will be expected to report to schools in January 2025. I also wish to announce that we are...
It has emerged that Mrs. Macharia had, in a letter dated December 1, 2024, asked the Commission to initiate the requirement process by January this year.
We wanted first to recruit the PNP so that then the ones who will not be recruited in the PNP can apply for the interns. That's what is making it that 5,000. So they'll be recruited this.
cited several time-sensitive activities that would require continuity in leadership. This included negotiation for new collective bargaining agreements with teachers' unions set to expire the following month, along with employment and promotion of teachers. She also highlighted critical administrative tasks such as renewal of the teachers' medical cover and the shift to Social Health Authority (SHA), the 2025 to 2026 budget negotiations, and the finalization of the TSC Act Amendment Bill 2024. According to her letter, the timely recruitment of a new CEO was essential to ensure a seamless transition and stable operations. Despite her achievements, Mrs. Macharia's leadership has been met with mixed reactions from stakeholders. Her time in office has been marked by controversies ranging from allegations of favorism in promotion and defiance of court orders to failure of implement some collective bargaining agreements. Those interested are required to download and complete an application form from the TSC website and attach a detailed curriculum vitae, certified copies of their ID or passport, academic and professional credentials, and testimonials.
As her departure draws near, the focus now shifts to who will take over the reins of TSE and steer Commission through its next phase. Kings TV, Mary Kemani.
We take our first commercial break. We will be right back.
Petans Technical College is a technical college that trains hands-on skills to ensure you become experts in technical courses such as cosmetology, interior and event decor, fashion and design industry. We ensure you have the latest digital skills in the IT industry. We produce competent journalists and media personnel ready for the job market. Travel the world through our certified assistant caregiver course. Visit us at Kiambu, Petans Plaza and in all our branches. Call us today on 0707 490 390.
Welcome back.
Talks between the UDA party and the opposition party have intensified following repeated criticism of the Talks between the UDA party and the opposition party have intensified following repeated criticism of the government by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Gachagua has gone as far as threatening President William Ruto, saying that he will unite all Kenyans to make President Ruto a one-term president. David Njega reports.
President William Ruto, together with opposition parties, continues with the exchange of harsh words while Kenyans continue with the struggle of high cost of living. One of the incident occurs as former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua angrily respond to the president's remarks about their fallout, accusing the president of lying and misleading the public.
Sisi tunajivunia leo. Huyu Kasongo alitaka kutenga sisi. Wa leo tumekaa hapa mlimani. Tuko na Eugene Wamalwa kutoka Mlembe Nation, tupigie makofi.
The response came after Ruto at Sagana State Lounge addressed Gachagua impeachment, accusing him causing their own downfall. William Ruto revealed that Gachagua had demanded cash 10 billion to resolve issue in Mount Kenya, threatening to make President Ruto a one-term president if the money was not provided. Now this political battle has made President Ruto to have sleepless night as the former deputy president takes that chance of correcting the government and saying that he must ensure that William Ruto have served as a one-term president.
Wale viongozi wote wanafuata Ruto wanasaliti jamii ya Mlima Kenya. Tukituma Ruto nyumbani mtatangulia. Finally, ni mwetu na kiama kieru.
Also, the opposition is making President Ruto more fearful as they continue to unite, where recently they assemble at former Deputy President home Wamunyoro in Nyeri County and form declaration of sacking President William Ruto coming year 2027. Among the leaders present were Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, DAP Party leader Eugene Wamalwa, former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, and People Liberation Party leader Martha Karua. Ruto challenged the opposition to present their plans for agriculture, job creation, roads and tribalism. He has also responded to the opposition that he has time to focus and serve Kenyans and deliver on his mandate, brushing off the opposition effort to ally against him in 2027. He also added that the time of campaign will come and they will meet on the ballot and Kenyans are the one to make their decision.
As the extension continues between UDA party and the opposition party, Kenyans are still waiting changes from the government. Reporting for Kings TV, my name is Jenga Dongo.
President William Ruto has allocated 6,000 acres of Kedong Ranch to the Maasai community in Narok as he began his two-day tour in the county. The president announced that the government had resolved to allocate additional 10,000 acres to locals.
He further announced that beneficiaries of the land allocation will receive their title deeds within 1 week. Ruto also revealed that the national government had officially handed over the management of the contested Mau Forest to Narok County. James Ribudo takes us through.
On Tuesday 6th, President William Ruto decided to leave a smile at Ma community after allocating 6,000 acres of land, increasing their total holding to 10,000 acres.
Ingine 6,000. Sasa pale Kedong mutakuwa na shamba ekari 10,000. Na mimi niko tayari kuwapatia title deeds.
For decades, Kedong Ranch, which is located at Naivasha, has been a subject bitter disputes between the Maasai community and corporate landholders. According to Narok resident, the land was grabbed from them without consent. Also, President William Ruto pledged to change that and promised residents that he will offer them title deeds.
Mimi niko tayari kuwapatia title deeds.
The Ma community leaders showed up their hearts of gratitude to the president, saying that the president is a good leader who is listening to Kenyans' challenges and fulfill his promises. President William Ruto also handed over Mau Forest to the Narok County government, where he said that Mau Forest will no longer be property used by politicians to do their campaigns.
Wakenya wenzangu, hasa wale ambao ni viongozi, nataka niwaeleze wakati huu ni wakati wa maendeleo. Kuna wakati itakuja ya siasa, tutakutana katika kiwanja ya siasa. Tulizeni boli, mambo bado. Ala, sindio? Siwatulize boli ama namna gani?
President William Ruto gives out 6 acres of land to Ma community that lives around Mau Narok in Narok County. President said that title deeds will be out in 1 week time. Reporting from TV, James Wangeshi.
Former Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has announced that he will be vying for the presidential seat in 2027 general election. Matiang'i, who was among the opposition politician at Wamunyoro residence in Nyeri County, accused William Ruto's government of playing with the Kenyans.
He further described himself as a hard worker, citing his job as an education CS under former President Uhuru Kenyatta administration, saying that he stamped out exam cheating.
Ruth Wangoi with the report.
Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has pledged to restore public trust in the government if he clinches power in the year 2027 general election.
Fanya hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo nawaomba wananchi, msipoteze imani. Don't lose hope in our country. What we are going through is a momentary situation.
Matiang'i, who was among a group of opposition politicians hosted by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua at Wamunyoro residence in Nyeri County on Sunday, accused President William Ruto's government of preying with Kenyans. He described himself as a hard worker, citing his job as education CS under former President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration when he says he stamped out exam cheating. The former minister says that government officials are sowing divisions among Kenyans and urged them to stay united in fighting bad leadership.
Kabila, unatusaidia nini? Sisi sote tuko na shida. Basi tunatafuta namna ya kutafuta suluhisho so that our country can be managed better. Na tuko tayari kufanya hiyo kazi. Kwa hivyo nawaomba wananchi, musipoteze imani. Don't lose hope in our country.
He has so far toured the Gusii region to mobilize support as well as forging unity with other leaders opposed to Ruto's administration and who were present at Gachagua's home. Fred Matiang'i has emphasized national unity, accountability and sacrifices, vying to restore trust in the government and resist divisions, which has brought about views from the Kenyans and even leaders, including Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who stated that the political battlefield ahead of 2027 election is now clear.
Hakuna kabila inataka kuleta shida dunia hii. Makabila ni mawili. Wale sisi ambao tunataka maendeleo kwenda mbele.
Former CS Matiang'i pays a surprise visit at Wamunyoro where he announces that he will be eyeing for presidential seat in 2027 poll. Now what next? Reporting Kings TV, I'm Kamau.
4 suspects have been arrested, including a police officer, due to the assassination of Kasipul, Member of Parliament Charles Odongo Were. Investigators believe that the officer played a crucial role in the killing. Additionally, 2 more key suspects were arrested, bringing the number of suspects in custody to 10. Philip Nahashon Aroko was also among those who were summoned by the DCI, where he addressed the press and denied any involvement in the MP's killing.
Boy Nyokabi takes us through the report.
Fresh details has emerged surrounding the assassination of Member of Parliament Charles Were, as 4 key suspects were presented before the JKIA Magistrate Court for the first time on Monday 5th. Magistrate Eileen Gishobi granted the prosecution request to detain the suspects for an additional 30 days to allow investigators to finalize their inquiries. According to prosecution counsel Allen Murama, said the extension is crucial for pursuing critical leads, including the pursuit of additional suspects, among them a police officer believed to have played a central role in organizing the killing. Investigators revealed that the officer allegedly used a newly registered mobile number under a false identity to coordinate with the assailants. Among those prosecuted was William Shigari and alias Shakur. Imori, who reportedly has links to the extremist Mujahideen gang, was arrested at Zaitun Ronj in Roysambu alongside 2 other suspects, Douglas Mushili Wambogo and David Kagame. The 3 of them subsequently led detectives to the home of an administration police officer, Juma Hikar, where a vehicle believed to have been used in the assassination was recovered. Court documents indicate that the suspects were in communication before and after the assassination. CCTV footage, which investigators described as pivotal, showed Imori tracing MP Were along Nairobi's Wabera Street. He was seen carrying a bag believed to have concealed the murder weapon and wearing police boots that was later found at Officer Hikal's residence. A search of Hikal's home uncovered ammunition, tear gas canisters and other belongings that are now under forensic analysis. At Imori's residence, detectives recovered several police uniforms, over $4,800 in cash and multiple mobile phones currently being examined for evidence. The investigation, described as highly complex, is expected to intensify in the coming weeks, with planned follow-up operation in Homa Bay County and beyond.
As the case is waited to be heard 2 weeks from now, the question remains, will the late MP Charles Were face his justice? Kings TV, Wamboi, Nyokabi.
We take our second commercial break. We'll be right back.
Petans Technical College is a technical college that trains hands-on skills to ensure you become experts in technical courses such as cosmetology, interior and event decor, fashion and design industry. We ensure you have the latest digital skills in the IT industry. We produce competent journalists and media personnel ready for the job market. Travel the world through our certified assistant caregiver course. Visit us at Kiambu, Petans Plaza and in all our branches. Call us today on 0707 490 390.
Welcome back. A section of ODM leaders has threatened to walk out of the broad-based government if the state fails to arrest and prosecute the killers of St. Kasipul MP Charles Ogondo Were.
Were was killed by unknown gunman who shot him severely in Nairobi, Wabera Street. The leaders led by ODM chairperson Gladys Wanga said that the agreement between ODM and Kenya Kwanza was not based on assassination.
Frida Kahiga with the report.
A section of Orange Democratic Movement ODM leaders has now threatened to pull out of the broad-based government arrangement that the state should not fail to arrest and align the killers of Kasipul members of parliament Charles Ongondo. They want a speedy probe into the brutal murder of the MP who was shot by assailants in Nairobi on 1st May. Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga, Senator Moses Kajwang, National Assembly Minority Miri Odhiambo and Homa Bay MP Peter Karuma claims that the murder of Charles Ongondo was well planned by the government agency and executed by trained gun holders. Speaking on that May at Charles Ongondo's home in Kasipul constituency, Gladys Wanga said ODM signed a working agreement with the ruling Kenya Kwanza administration to address the problem facing Kenyans, but not to address extrajudicial killings.
And Were was not elected by fluke. No, Were was elected 2017 to 2022. Come 2022, Were had over 42,000 votes. His nearest competitor,
Peter Kaluma and Miri Odhiambo, stated that they are ready to pull out of the agreements that the state delay in giving a comprehensive report on the murder of Kasipul MP. On the other hand, Kabondo Kasipul MP Eve Obara and her North counterpart Oku Kaunya asked the Directorate of Criminal Investigation DCI to retrieve and review the CCTV cameras around the scene where the MP was killed and apprehend the murders before the burial of Charles Ongondo.
But if leaders who are protected by police and pistols and bullets cannot be safe in this country, what about the ordinary citizen who does not have...
Peter Karuma urged that the future of the broad-based government will rely on how the government will handle the murder of Charles Ongondo. Kings TV, Frida Kahiga.
On Sunday 4th, at a rally in Migori County in Nyanza region, Ruto blocked the flying footwear with his arm and did not appear to be injured. Dennis Itumbi, a senior official in the president's office, said that the shoe was thrown accidentally.
President William Ruto defended the shoe thrown at him during a speech about the cost of living, which was being a source of public anger. Ruth Kamau with the details.
State House digital strategist and head of presidential special projects Dennis Itumbi has played down the narrative that President William Ruto was smacked with a shoe, painting a different picture of what he claims actually happened.
To play, because it would assist all of these things they are trying to investigate. The video of the meetings, because it would prove that a member who works for my bosses has actually threatened the life of the deputy president.
Through one of his official communication channels, the government spin master shared a video which shows a different perspective from the one that has already gone viral online, with the new video shedding some light on the moments before the shoe landed on the president's face. As Ruto begins to say, "Tulisema kwanza tupunguze gharama ya," a different man can be seen slapping away the shoe, which unintentionally flies towards the president, landing smack on his face. To back up the new evidence, Itumbi said a funny joke spiraled out of control as everyone pulled out their phones to record the president. Itumbi went on to ask the public to help him identify the man who was using his shoe to record the president, revealing that there were plans to gift the man an actual phone for proper recording next time. Shortly after the incident, 3 people were arrested as police said that investigations were ongoing and the other suspects are being pursued. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen said the 3 were being treated as part of a broader investigation on whether the act was an isolated outburst or part of a more deliberate attempt to breach presidential security. The incident briefly disrupted the event, which occurred while the president was on his tour of Migori.
Play it in court. Your Honor, I however would want to say, for me to play the court, I would request.
From the new video, the man appears to be comically using the shoe as a mobile device recording the president. His angling of the shoe appearing to support the conclusion. Reporting for Kings TV, my name is Ruth Kamau.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Sunday held a grand opposition leaders meeting at his Omnyoro residence in Nyeri County. The opposition is working on forging the united front ahead of the 2027 general elections.
As Isaac Gitahi reports, this is the first time all opposition leaders have gathered at the Wamunyoro's home, which has become the center of operations for Gachagua.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua hosted a delegation of prominent leaders at his Wamunyoro residence in Nyeri County. The gathering brought together prominent figures from various political parties and regions across the country. Among those in attendance were former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Okengo Matiang'i, former Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Bidan Muturi, People Liberation Party leader Martha Karua, DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, among other leaders from Mount Kenya regions and other regions. Former Deputy President criticized President William Ruto allegedly using his allies to publicly attack former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Wewe ukituma hiyo vijana tena kutukana Uhuru Kenyatta, ukifika hapa mlimani, hawa mama watakupigia nduru, wazee watakupigia nduru, na vijana watakufukuza hapa mlimani.
Gachagua claimed that Ruto was using Faruk Kibet and National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah to lead his destruction attack against Kenyatta. Gachagua warned Ruto that he should not continue attacking Kenyatta. These remarks comes after Ruto close allies recently rebuked Kenyatta, accusing him of preaching divisive politics and inciting the youth. And the former deputy president said he will unite to send President William Ruto home in 2027 election, where soon he will launch his party. He also accused President William Ruto of extrajudicial killings, land grabbing, and also looting of public resources. This is seen of Ruto being behind the killings of anti-governmental protesters last year and the recent shooting of 5 people by police officers in Angata, Narok County. Gachagua said the decision to join forces with leaders across the country. The main responsibility is to rescue the country from economic hardship and political betrayal.
Damage to Uhuru Kenyatta. You misled all of.
Former President Rigathi Gachagua hosted a delegation of prominent leaders at his residence home in Wamunyoro, Nyeri County. Reporting Kings TV, I'm Gitahi, Congo.
After the battles for the control of National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, was being released for the public participation exercise all over the country, conducted by 290 administrative units for 3 days.
Now Kenyans have shown their concern in the NGCDF program, saying that this program is really helping them. Our political reporter Moses Wanjiko with the details.
After the battle for the control of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF was being released for the participation exercise across the country for 3 days, which kicked off on Monday 5th, has raised an alarm in Kenyans' mind. The residents turned up in a big number in their respective representatives' offices around the country, all of them having the same goal in mind, and which was to ensure that NGCDF and the Senate Oversight Fund are legal. Emotions ran high during a public participation forum in Lugari, Kakamega County, residents wondering about the future on the NGCDF.
Nikaweze kupata hizo huduma.
In Kiambu County, Ruiru constituency, the residents shown up their unity with their leaders praising NGCDF, saying that this is the backbone of education and even the development. A parallel forum was conducted in Nairobi, Westland constituency, which drew a similar tone from the leaders and the locals, who showed up a strong defense towards NGCDF. Students and also the security officers were not left behind to defend the NGCDF and demanding that instead of getting rid of it, the program should be added more funds and facilitate a smooth learning institutions.
And now, about 100% of Kenyan citizens, they remain to seek the Kenyan government to let the NGCDF fund to be run by the constituency level. Reporting for Kings TV, my name is Moses Wanjiko.
Alright, we take another short commercial break. We'll be right back with business news. Welcome back.
You don't build a business, you build people, then people build the business.
Welcome to Business News with our business reporter, Jen Gede.
As the cost of living continues to rise, business owners across the country are experiencing financial strain. Entrepreneurs are being forced to adapt in real time as economic conditions change in order to keep their business alive. In order to cope with the changes, residents in Kiambu County are working hard to adjust and do their best. I interacted with a house painter and a furniture professional and have highlighted some of the challenges they face.
Tunauza hizi vitu za furnitures. Shop yetu ni furnitures and unique. Tunauza meza, vitanda, office desk, mattress, office desk, kila kitu. Challenges yenye tunaweza kuwa nao kwa biashara ni tunaona kama sasa kunanyesha. Tunaona sasa vitu kukinyesha itabidi tupeleke hadi vitu ndani. Tunaona juu hizi vitu mingi hazifai kunyeshewa. Tunaona itabidi tuzipeleke huko. Tunaona sasa hiyo ndo challenges sana kukinyesha yenye tunapitianga most. Sometimes unaweza patana na customer wenye mtu anaweza kuja kuulizia hii kitu, yani a bargain. Ukimwambia mwisho anaweza bargain na sasa hiyo hana pesa. Sasa hiyo umemwambia mwisho wako na bado analia mwisho akwambia hana pesa. So hiyo ndo sometimes customer wenye wanaweza kuja kununua then upate sasa huyo mtu hajanunua ameenda.
Climate change is one of them because when it rains, they are forced to move their items as some of them are water resistant. Another challenge is handling customers as some tend to buy while bargaining excessively and ending up not to purchase anything. Challenges faced during house painting include health risk from fumes, skin irritation, eye irritation, long-term exposure risks, and accidental injuries. They also added that being employed provides financial stability and job security to professional development and a structured work-life balance. Self-employment provides opportunities for greater control, financial potential, personal growth, satisfaction, and independence.
Nimefanya kazi ya kupaka rangi. Yangu ilikuwa za kuchora kwa nyumba, kupaint, yani ndio ilifanya kaingia kwa hii kazi ya rangi. Nisaidia, kuna kazi nataka kufungua yangu after this ni kuandikwa nimeandikwa, lakini vile inanisaidia kuna kazi nataka kufungua yangu sasa. Nilipata opportunity itafungua yangu actually. Mimi naweza mwambia kazi iko, mwanaume ni kujituma. Ukuje unajituma ama unafanya kazi, kusema ati hakuna kazi.
The rising of high cost of living have significantly affected many business people, and this have made it expensive to run a business. Edigen, Kings TV.
Away from business news, we dive into the sports world.
Kabati Youth Club has officially won the Division 1 League after a decisive home draw against Zitech University. With this achievement, they became the fourth team from the Mount Kenya region and the second from Murang'a County after Murang'a seals to qualify for National Super League NSL. Inter Milan produced at Champions League semi-finals. Arsenal bid to reach won the first major trophy of his career after Bayern Munich were confirmed as Bundesliga champions. From the sports desk, my name is Mbogo Felix.
And that marks the end of our bulletin today. Many thanks for keeping us company.
To recap on today's news, for more updates, follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, Kings TV, YouTube, Kings Fraternity.
We will keep bringing you the news that matters the most. My name is Mbogo Felix.
And I, Beatrice Award.